Leaving the desolate Valley of Skulls and crossing the obvious borders of the Valkyrian wastelands in this new land, you emerge and see to your relief an immense swamp area that is fed by the many snow-capped mountain springs that surround the narrow pass. The contrast of the two areas is remarkable to you as you feel the moisture seep into your skin after weeks of travel across the parched earth of the volcanic rocks of the wasteland. Holding the Narrows is essential to maintaining control of the central valleys of the Quilado mountain range. As the only pass to the west, this is the most strategic location to move Jandar's troops into the vast mountain range. Rumors of a wellspring are connected to these mysterious valleys that the insular Kyrie of the Moon tribe will only hint at. The spring storms have come to an end. The rains have soaked the lands, causing large patches of erosion, uncovering ancient architecture and artifacts that were once buried. An old enchantment of the green leaf tribe that makes a protective field has been revealed from beneath the ground. With the Marrow swarming the area, it is a perfect time to activate it and take a well-deserved breather. You just need a safe place to do it. A vision of wellsprings has brought us here, far from the cold north of Nastraland, to the bug-infested bogs and jungles of the sweltering south. Raylan, Sonlin, and I must make our way through this canyon and link up with Major Q10 and Shiori at the end of the pass. Q10 and Shiori have been scouting ahead. It has been a while since we have heard from them. Raylan looks concerned. I look up in the sky as we walk, and I shiver at the sight of the large alien birds circling above us, an ominous warning of what we are approaching between the tall, dark mountains. Sergeant Drake Alexander. Just beyond the Narrows is the First Valley, which is surrounded by massive cliffs of the Quilado mountain range. During the annual heavy rains, this deep valley floods with the waters of 1,000 springs. The only safe area during the floods is a small ledge on the northern half of the valley called the Montiqua Ledge, named in honor of the only surviving Kyrie warrior of the Green Leaf tribe, who took shelter on the ledge during the destruction of his village more than 1,000 years ago. The Marrow have come to contaminate the last of the clean waters surrounding the Montiqua Ledge. The Kyrie of the Moon tribe have pleaded with you to protect these waters and give their warriors time to assemble and drive back the monsters. The Moon tribe has brought back an urgent report. Enemy forces have destroyed the ancient levee that prevents the valley from destructive flooding, and a deadly wall of water is headed towards Montiqua Ledge, the only terrain high enough to save your army. Getting to Montiqua Ledge will be the easy part. Battling the other armies headed for Montiqua Ledge will be the hard part. We approach an ancient and beautiful valley after having met up with Major Q10 at the mouth of the Narrows. Unfortunately, the Soulborg brings sad tidings of Shiori's capture at the hands of the inhuman monsters, the Marrow. As I survey the terrain of the Vale, I see in the distance, along the riverbed, a large shelf of stone jetting up from the flat floor of the valley. This seems a perfect location to ambush the Marrow troops escorting Shiori west. As we make our way to the ambush location, I once again see in the sky large birds circling above us, casting their carrion shadows upon our fateful path. Sergeant Drake Alexander. As you enter the valley beyond Montiqua Ledge, you hear a song of pain coming from an overgrown area of thick vine. As you emerge from the thick vine, you enter a small, swampy area and see a raw, skin and bone maw emerging from the brackish pool of algae-covered water. Between the two maws are large glowing sacs that are being forced out of the mouth by more larva-like sacs below the surface of the water. Gazing at this hideous alien abomination, you immediately sense that the painful song is emanating from the contaminated waters. This is the source of the Marrow infestation. An infestation of giant fire ants has caused the Marrow hive in the Zualtiaka swamp to go crazy and bombard the area around it with a shrill siren's call that drives all living things to be destroyed. As you flee the area in terror, you notice that the Marrow are running away, even faster. After the ferocious battle at Montequa Ledge, we decide to stay together and avoid any major conflicts by staying off the cleared paths. A sense of dread almost overtakes me as we emerge into a clearing and see what could only be described as a Marro parasite, a humongous creature that is glowing and pulsating out of the choking natural spring. Out of the top, this leech drops a large larva sac that starts to tear itself open almost immediately. What emerges from within is a Marrow stinger, and the horror hits me. This is where the Marrow have hidden, and we must destroy this grotesque monster before more can be made for the numberless hordes of Utgar. Sergeant Drake Alexander. I have no time for the feelings of satisfaction after the destruction of the Morrow Hive and its Hive Lord, for far above us, the large carrion birds that have followed us for so long through the mountains are finally descending. As I prepare myself for battle, Raylin points out, with her far reaching eyes, that these are not birds. They are Kyrie of the Moon Tribes. Sergeant Drake Alexander. With several of your warriors wounded from the many fierce battles against Utgar's Morrow forces, you have asked the Morrow tribe for help with the wounded. They tell the tale of a spring where the waters heal even the most severe of wounds. You decide to trust the Kyrie of the Moon tribe and send a scouting force to find this waters of life. But the infestation of Morrow runs deep into the uncharted swamp. As you penetrate further into the swamp, a stench of decay overwhelms you and makes you wonder whether the fabled waters of life have been disturbed by these alien monsters. According to the emissaries of the Moon Tribe, you have discovered the ancient waters of life. Many tribal warriors came to drink these magical waters to cure their most severe injuries, spawning the myth that the waters of life can bring back warriors from the dead. Now a new power has taken root in the waters of life, a deadly Morrow hive that is slowly transforming the waters of life into a drink of doom. The Morrow hive has been changing and contaminating the waters of life, and so has the magical spring been fighting back and changing the grotesque Morrow abomination. In its confused state, it can't distinguish friend from foe, randomly linking telepathically to any general in the area.